What's going on, guys? My name is Wade with TechDaily, and in this video, we are checking out the new Xiaomi 17. Sorry for that long, awkward pause after 17. I'm sure some of you were waiting for me to say another word, like Pro or Ultra, or even Mini or super sized. But no, this is just the Xiaomi 17, or the regular Xiaomi 17, I guess. And it does feel weird not having another descriptor attached to that name. This is Xiaomi's newest flagship phone that's a little smaller and a little more simple, but just as powerful and jam-packed with the specs and features you'd want from a top-level device in 2026. And don't worry, if you do still want a Pro or a Pro Max or even an Ultra, Xiaomi's 17 series has all of those options as well. But this one to me is the most interesting because in a world where brands like Xiaomi are going bigger, adding more and more to every phone, even trying new, interesting, or quirky things, like making them fold or adding rear displays, and in some cases eclipsing a $2,000 price point, this regular Xiaomi 17 sort of looks like it's almost out of place now. If you don't want any of that stuff I just mentioned, and instead want the most powerful, small-sized smartphone without any extra gimmicks, then this is probably the phone you've been looking for. So I'm going to fill you in on everything you need to know about the new Xiaomi 17. I'll talk about its specs and features, of course, what makes it unique, a couple points of controversy that have fallen on this phone already, and hopefully this will help you decide if this small-sized smartphone will be gracing your pocket in the near future. But first things first, like we always do, let's just quickly unbox it, check out what all comes inside the package, and then we'll see what the new Xiaomi 17 is all about. Slicing through the stickers here and sliding off the lid, the first thing you'll see is this packet of stuff with the Xiaomi logo stamped on the outside. There's a SIM ejector tool in here, along with very important paperwork, a setup guide, legal info. Definitely will be reading all of that. And then you also still have a USB-A to USB-C charging cable, which is cool. This phone supports some super fast wired charging speeds, but there's no included wall plug to pair it with, at least not with my phone, which is the EU variant, but global and China versions of the phone should still have a 100-watt wall plug tossed in, so lucky you guys. And there's also this crystal clear hard plastic case to protect this brand new phone. Speaking of the phone, here it is, and if you want a sneak peek of the tech specs, well, there you go, I guess. I'll obviously touch on everything here throughout the video, but that's it. That's everything included in the box here. So we'll get the new Xiaomi 17 fully undressed, powered on, and all set up. And I suppose the first thing you'll want to know is how much it costs and where in the world you'll be able to buy one. Now, this phone has officially launched globally, which per usual just means most places besides the US and outside the Asian markets where it was first introduced a few months prior. And the full retail price is, well, it depends. Technically, it's like 999 euros for the base configuration, but this phone is sold by so many third-party retailers in person and online, and the price quickly creeps down because of that. I mean, I've already seen listings in the realm of $800 and under, and with plenty of bundle deals and promotions, I highly doubt most anyone pays full retail price for this phone, especially as we head into summer. Now, the first unique thing about this regular Xiaomi 17 is its size, like I mentioned at the start. At 6.3 inches corner to corner, this is about as small of a smartphone as you can get nowadays. It's similar in overall dimensions to Samsung's regular S26, and actually Xiaomi's 17 Pro is also 6.3 inches, so I guess there are a couple other options, but still, where most Android phones fall in the 6.5 to 6.7 inch range, this is definitely outside the norm. But that's good, in my opinion. You've got a great screen-to-body ratio here, super slim bezels all around. I mean, this thing is all screen. And obviously, in the hand, you can much more easily reach across the entire display, top to bottom, edge to edge, corner to corner, without having to shift or maneuver the phone around. It is a really great phone to hold and to have in your hand, and while some people might be put off by its small screen, I think it's actually a perk. Around back, the Xiaomi 17 somehow looks both premium yet utterly simple. You've got high-end materials here, a full glass back paired to an all-aluminum color-matched frame. There's a small Xiaomi logo at the bottom, and then a trio of real camera lenses along with an LED flash that make up a modest-looking but very well-equipped Leica branded camera module, or camera deco as Xiaomi says. There's no big huge camera bar or camera bulge, no mismatched materials for aesthetics or design, no secondary screen like the Pro or the Ultra, but again, I think this plain Jane look and feel is a perk, not a drawback. The totally flat sides are tapered just ever so slightly. Xiaomi actually calls this the micro-curved frame, and the phone itself is IP68 dust and water resistant, so it's pretty tough too. And I don't know about you, but I really like this color. This is the Venture Green, but you can also pick from black, white, alpine pink, and ice blue. I'm not sure any of those look quite as nice as this one though. Taking a look around at everything else here, nothing really on the left side, just an antenna band. On the right, familiar volume and power buttons. Up top, a couple more antennae, and at the bottom, the main loudspeaker, alongside the USB-C port for charging and the SIM card tray. Watch out which hole you poke here, aim for the furthest one away from the USB-C port to swap SIM cards if you have to. This phone does support dual physical SIMs and eSIM, and you can opt for 256 gigabytes of storage, 512 gigabytes, or up to 1 terabyte in some regions, with 12 and 16 gig RAM options as well. Now, unlike Xiaomi's budget brands, Poco and Redmi, their flagship namesake phones don't have a ton of junk apps and bloatware loaded onto a fresh setup, though there's still a couple, maybe 5 or 6 apps that probably shouldn't be on this phone, but not the end of the world, and you also have all your default Google apps and a suite of Xiaomi specific apps here as well. This phone does have an in-display fingerprint reader. It's the higher-end ultrasonic sensor, which means you only need a quick touch to actually get into the phone. It's really fast, but the placement of the sensor itself I feel is maybe a little high. I suppose that's because the phone is also a little smaller, so maybe they had to adjust the placement of the fingerprint sensor on the screen to sort of match, but it's not a huge complaint. There's also a screen protector that comes stuck on this phone out of the box, but it's very thin, and I don't feel it has an impact on the fingerprint reader or anything else. It's just nice that the screen is protected right out of the box. And if you're curious about the included case, well, here's how that looks. It's a pretty simple, crystal clear, hard plastic case that definitely gets more smudges and fingerprints than the matte frosted glass bare phone, but it's nice to be protected, I suppose. You don't have total coverage with it, unfortunately, but it was free in the box, and it's better than nothing. So when it comes to the viewing experience, my cute little joke is don't judge it based on its size. Even though the screen is only 6.3 inches, there is literally nothing that's sacrificed here. It's a better than 1080p 1220 by 2656 resolution, cramming in some 460 pixels per inch. So it's super sharp with a higher pixel density than some other phones at a larger size. It's an LTPO Super AMOLED panel and supports all the Dolby Vision and HDR10 Plus content at a peak brightness of some 3500 nits, which, by the way, is brighter than Samsung's flagship phone. And on top of all that, it is of course a 120Hz high refresh rate display. I also appreciate the screen settings, which you can tweak to actually get a very precise color temperature and saturation level. You don't always see that level of customization on these phones, and frankly, there's not much more to even say about this display. Spec for spec, this is as good as it gets, and visually, without messing with the screen color options too much, the default color profile here is very natural, it's very balanced, it's not oversaturated. It's a really great looking screen, but I can totally see that maybe for some people, it's a little duller out of the box. So boost up the color in vivid mode if you want. It's also smooth and responsive with its 120Hz high refresh rate goodness. I don't know what more you could even want from a smartphone screen. I think it's picture perfect, but I also understand that this is just sort of the standard for a flagship Android phone right now. So I shouldn't glaze Xiaomi too much for just keeping up with the times. I will just quickly say though that technically this is a better screen than what Samsung offers on their flagship regular S26. The Xiaomi has a higher resolution, more pixels, it's brighter, like I said. So maybe Xiaomi did go a step or two higher than they needed, or maybe Samsung just doesn't give their regular flagship phones all the specs and features it deserves. Now, something I always prefer smartphones have is a dual speaker setup where the secondary speaker is a larger or full-size standalone one at the top of the phone, rather than being crammed inside the earpiece or doubling as the earpiece speaker. It usually will give you a better, louder, more balanced sound. But I have to say, even though the Xiaomi 17 doesn't have the big standalone secondary speaker, the earpiece speaker it does have here is very loud, very clear, and surprisingly balanced. This sounds to me like the best dual speaker setup on a flagship phone that I've tried this year. And it isn't necessarily something special or stand out, it's just the speaker, but I was really surprised when I heard it. So let's now talk about this phone's internal specs and performance capabilities. And interestingly enough, this has actually been a bit of a point of controversy since this phone's release. The Xiaomi 17 is powered by the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 chip and the Adreno 840 GPU. This is essentially the best smartphone processor on the market right now, and it's paired to either 12 or 16 gigabytes of RAM. Here are the up-to-date Geekbench scores for the chip inside this phone, and even though technically this chip maybe isn't specifically optimized for this phone, like Samsung likes to say their processor is made for Galaxy, I do still think that, like I said, this is about as powerful of a processor as you could possibly get right now. With all that power, it's only natural to want to push this phone to its limits. Not everyone will do that, but some people definitely do, especially with gaming or content creation, filming, editing video, all things AI too. So to help keep things cool, Xiaomi introduced their 3D ice loop system within this phone to dissipate heat and attempt to sustain performance. However, given this phone's smaller size, all the components that are jam-packed inside it, and the smaller surface area to try and keep everything cool, some people have stated that this regular Xiaomi 17 gets a little toasty under a full load. And I feel that too, just with my bare hand after 15 or 20 minutes of gaming. It's not too hot, and I don't have a fancy thermometer or thermal camera. I'm not the guy to do those sorts of tests, but this phone does get a little warmer than average, and I can see that hindering performance ever so slightly. Is that an outright issue with the Xiaomi 17, like some people have claimed already? No, I don't really think so. And I've experienced plenty of other phones getting warm doing a lot of other things. Sometimes even the bare minimum. Would you get better performance on a phone that is a bit bigger with a little better cooling and more surface area to dissipate all that heat away? Sure, but I also think most people who are smartphone super users or gamers are opting for a larger size phone anyway. The Xiaomi 17 is a top-tier flagship powered by as powerful of components as you can get, and I don't personally think there's a performance or heat issue on this phone any more than any other device, even if some people are trying to perpetuate that. Maybe I'm in the minority here though. I mean, I know I'm also in the minority when I say that I generally like Xiaomi's Hyper OS. Even if it is iOS looking at times, it's super clean, relatively simple. It's a smooth OS. It's very fluid, and it's not really littered with AI things, or at least not so in your face about the AI features and software enhancements as some other OSs right now. Xiaomi also upped their OS guarantee. You'll see 5 major Android updates and 6 total years of security patches if you keep this phone that long, or maybe if you hold off and buy it a year or two from now. It seems like Xiaomi is gradually adding an extra year of support with about each new generation of smartphones, so that's great to see. And all in all, while I don't necessarily think this is the Pro Max or Ultra level flagship phone that people might expect for a flagship, this regular phone is still a flagship through and through when it comes to its actual usability, its performance, its user experience, its support, its specs, and what all powers it. Even if some people like to say some not so nice rumors about this phone running a little warm. When it comes to charging and the battery, there's a ton of pretty good news here too. They crammed a 6,300 mAh battery inside this small phone, and a 7,000 mAh one if you have the China version. It's the newer silicon carbon battery too, so higher density, better performing, and a far cry from the ancient and small size 4,300 mAh battery in the regular S26 flagship, for example. This phone also supports 100 watt wired charging, and you can now achieve those speeds with PPS supported USB-C accessories, not just Xiaomi's own proprietary ones. Like I said at the start, while I didn't get a charging brick in the box, many of you will. And if not, you can do a little research and find some solid third-party accessories that can supercharge this phone. I would probably still recommend using Xiaomi's own hypercharge wireless accessories to get the 50 watt wireless speeds, and you can reverse charge other devices at 22.5 watt wireless or via a cable. So this is sort of an emergency power bank for your friends too. Altogether, I think Xiaomi basically put a cherry on top of their already industry-leading power protocols. Finally, it wouldn't be a flagship phone without a great set of cameras around back. And fortunately, this Xiaomi 17 doesn't miss here either. Within this camera deco, you'll find a 50 megapixel f1.7 aperture main lens, a 50 megapixel telephoto zoom lens with 2.6 times optical zoom and up to 60 times digital zoom, and one more 50 megapixel lens, the 50 megapixel 102 degree ultra wide. Up front, the selfie camera is also a 50 megapixel f2.2 lens, and coupled with the Leica branding, a couple Leica filters, and the rest of the shooting modes and features inside the camera app, I would say that even if this phone doesn't push the limits on megapixels like an Ultra, this is a really good camera setup through and through. While I do wish the ultra-wide lens was a little wider, I was especially impressed by the zoom, weirdly enough. This isn't like the most powerful telephoto lens on paper, but it offers some great detail. And actually, all the handful of quick camera samples I shot captured a ton of detail, including the selfie lens. Crazy good color too. Maybe a little oversaturated, but nonetheless, great pictures just right out of the box from this phone. And like I said, there's a lot of options and shooting modes all throughout the camera app. There's 8K video recording, 4K 60 FPS from the selfie camera, super macro for up-close pictures, a teleprompter mode, long exposure, and document scanner as some of your extras, but no gimmicks here. No face filters or Snapchat lenses, nothing slapped on to just add a button or a mode for the heck of it. This is just a really capable camera setup that finishes off a really well-rounded flagship phone, and I would be more than happy to snap a picture or video with it any day of the week. Now, for the sake of transparency, I personally have preferred some smaller phones in recent years. I long gave up my iPhone Pro Max for the regular size iPhone Pro. I also really enjoyed using the mini iPhones, and I also regularly recommend people try out the regular S26 flagship from Samsung as one of the few remaining small-ish Android options. This is also small, or sort of small. Xiaomi 17 piques my interest due to its size, but also for its simplicity. It's a flagship phone, no doubt about it, with all the latest specs and features you'd want for let's call it $800, but it's not so over the top that it's littered with gimmicks or innovation that borders on questionable. It's one of the most straightforward smartphones I've seen so far this year that is still a flagship. And while it may not be the most exciting device in the world, I kind of think that's the appeal. But what do you guys think about this new Xiaomi 17 regular? Is it a phone you're considering right now? Did you buy one already? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, of course. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video though. Be sure to follow TechDaily on Twitter and subscribe to the TechDaily YouTube channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys later.